It was meant to be the next big step in my paddle journey, but nerves, tightness and a tough match created disaster. Let me show you what happened. So, the day started off like every other tournament day that I've ever had. I got up around 6 o'clock and typically I'm not a great sleeper. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired. In fact, I'm so tired that I actually hit a lamppost on the way to the train station. Like I walked into it. I don't start. Anyway, managed to get on the train pretty much unscathed after the lamppost incident, which is a massive win, and then the anticipation for the tournament takes over. Overthinking how I'm going to play, replaying scenarios that haven't even happened yet. I know that's not a good thing to do, but currently, right now, I'm doing nothing to stop. If it's a match with actual stakes, that's when it's going to impact me the most. So my first tournament of 2025, my first grade 2, is that going to impact me? Yes, 100%. Definitely not feeling confident about it now. Definitely feeling super tentative, and that is the exact opposite of how I should be feeling right now. So I'm thinking all of these things as I arrive at Rocket Paddle in Ilford. And I have a little bit of respite because I start to see people that I know, which was good for me, right? One of them being Jake, who you may actually know from the first 2 episodes on this channel. And after a bit of advice from Jake, after he watched my last video, episode 3, about ensuring I follow in deeper volleys, players and spectators started filling the venue up. Matches got underway, which meant it was game time for me. I should really have 0 pressure on my shoulders at this point right now. My first tournament of 2025, my first grade 2, some of the best players in the country are playing this event, but for whatever reason, I'm feeling a ton of pressure. Anyway, let me introduce everyone. We have Brendan and Andy against Marshall and myself. Here are the match highlights. So, I start off serving, return there from Andy. These first couple of volleys just super tentative from myself. Just don't want to make a mistake. Great defense there from Brendan, putting the pressure back on us. I give quite a high forehand here as they continue to apply the pressure, and this is where I just shouldn't be making this mistake right here. Tight and nudgy, in the net, feeling those early nerves, it's love 15. Now, this is the second point of the match here. Marshall's volley to Andy. Andy's forehand goes over my head, puts me under a bit of bother, and Marshall here with a couple of volleys, and that second volley, great angle for 15 all. And despite my nerves, we went on to win that first game to 15, which is a good start. So, second game of the match here, Andy to serve, and this rally here highlights for me a bit of an issue I had throughout. A couple of those shots there, I should have let hit the back glass, which would have given me a little bit more time to hit more controlled, better shots. But as well as that, when I'm feeling tentative and tight, one of the things that kind of fouls on me is my movement, and this point exposes that. In just a moment, you'll see there's a real opportunity here if I was a little bit more alert to read the smash from Andy. That would have given me an opportunity to potentially finish the point, but instead I remained static at the back. Here's another one. Serve from Andy, poor return and lob here from myself, and then I didn't really anticipate the smash from Brendan when I normally would. I was literally just casually going for it. Not great. We lose this game to 15 as well. It's now 1-all. Marshall to serve. And after a really strong start from us in this game, great snap volley there from Marshall, we find ourselves at golden point, break point down. Here we go then. Marshall to serve, return then from Brendan. Volley there from myself, lob from Andy, and a big leap, big smash from Marshall. It's 2-1 to us, Brendan to serve. And somehow we managed to find ourselves in a position where we're at 15-30 on Brendan's serve. And with this point, we actually win it. We've now got 2 break points to take the early lead in this first round match at the grade 2. Brendan serves, a decent lob return here from myself. That pretty much hits right before the glass. Lob back there from Brendan, overhead from Marshall. And some decent reactions, to be fair to myself, managing to keep the ball in play. Lob again from Brendan, and what you're going to see in just a moment here is just some fantastic defense from Brendan. I don't think I've ever done anything like this personally at all. It's coming up very shortly. Boast from Andy, volley from myself, and check this out. Absolutely epic. but into the net with the next shot. It's now 3-1 to us. Buzzing, got an early break. Can't say I'm feeling much more confident as it stands right now, but getting a break is normally considered a good thing, isn't it? And in the following game on my serve, it's all about cementing that break. We went from 15 to 30 to 40 love. 3 game points now for 4-1. 3-1 to 4-1 is quite a significant score to claw back. So we're pretty pleased to be 40 love up. And I genuinely believe this was a significant moment in the match. We're a break up at this point. 3-1 on my serve, 40 love. For as unconfident as I've been for the whole match up until this point, I was pretty confident that we were going to at least close out this game for 4-1. And that would have put us in a pretty commanding position coming into the back end of the first set. However, as each point finished, it went from 40-15 to 40-30, and then we were at golden point juice, and we lost every single point. We had major chances to close out the game and just didn't take them. A huge turning point in the match, for sure. Crikey! Inside, I am feeling absolute rage. To go a break up, to be 40 love up, to then losing that game. I had low confidence before. I've got like sub-confidence right now. And after Andy held his serve, things really started to collapse for us. Here's another example of me remaining static at the back, not reading the ball at all. Great play though from Brendan there. Here's a great attacking slice from Andy, caught me by surprise, poor volley. And then lastly here, at love 40 down. You know, I remember this rally. It was back and forth from overheads, back into the net, overhead, back into the net. And I literally thought at the time, the winner from Andy, this was actually Marshall's ball. But in actual fact, looking back on it, that should have been me all day long. I should have been closing in the net there. He was always going to be needing to hit up, and I didn't react. Well played to Brendan and Andy. They've secured their second break now, 4-3 in a commanding lead in the first set. And that commanding lead continued. Brendan and Andy started playing absolutely phenomenally. What a cross-court backhand winner there from Brendan, which shortly left Andy serving for the set. And at set point, they close it and they take it 6-4. Awesome job from those guys. Can we come back? We're one set down right now. If we don't turn it on right now, we're going to lose. So now it's about turning it on. And I'd love to say that we did, but we didn't. First game, Marshall serving, we found ourselves at juice, so break point down. Lob here from Andy, and I can't quite get back quick enough for a decent enough rouleau, and then a volley to the side glass. Marshall showing his frustration there. 1 love to Brendan and Andy. But then in the next game, this is what's crazy. We find ourselves with 3 break points. And guess what happens? Same thing again. We lose all 3 break points, and again, we're at golden point right now. Let's see what happens here. We lose it. 2 love. It kills the confidence when things unfold like they are. Now we revisit at 3-1. And this is where I show some serious frustration. The smash miss heard all around Ilford and the surrounding train networks. On a serious one though, that was a really frustrating moment. Anyway, it's Brendan's serve. 30 love. Brendan with the volley. Decent overhead here from Andy, and I managed to get that one back just. Lob here from Andy, and a makeshift gancho there. And right here, something happens. This just encapsulates me in this moment right now. Something like this, which is completely unintentional, happens. Normally, I laugh it off. I at least acknowledge that someone's done it and those kind of bits. However, in this moment, I just didn't even want to look at them because I was so tight and so in my head. And then I look at like how Brendan and Andy have just like acted and behaved over the whole course of the match. Great body language, loads of communication, like even when they went down in the first set, like really good, like genuinely really good. Got to give them major props for that. And maybe in some roundabout way, that moment might have triggered off a little bit more fight in us, as we found ourselves at 30-40 with a break point on Andy's serve, which we take with a fantastic smash from Marshall. But, like with everything that we did that was positive inside of this match, we just weren't consistent enough with it. As a result, in the next game, we found ourselves down by 2 match points. Let's see how they played out. An epic smash from Marshall, basically from the service line. 1 match point saved. And just wide from Andy, the second match point saved. It's now golden point juice, so technically the third match point. Are we going to mount the greatest comeback in paddle? I ruddy hope so. Let's find out. Brendan with the return, volley there from myself, forehand from Andy. Great lob here from Andy as well. That's hitting right at the back glass. Lob back from myself. Both teams naturally not wanting to make a mistake at such a pivotal moment in the match. Now Brendan and Andy start taking the net. Lob there from myself, overhead from Andy. Brendan with the volley. And here we go. Marshall now with the lob. Brendan with the overhead. And into the net from myself. What was that question I was asking? Are we going to mount the greatest comeback in paddle? Yeah, that's going to be a no. But in all seriousness, 6-4, 6-3 to Brendan and Andy. Well deserved. They played really good paddle. They were super consistent when we weren't. Thank you to those guys and to Marshall for partnering with me. Really disappointing to come into my first grade 2, especially after my preparation of feeling like I was playing well, to play and not perform. So it's back to the drawing board. A lot of stuff to be working on. I've booked myself in for a session with Jake Bewley, who is my coach, and I'll be able to showcase what we work on in my next video. If you've loved this video, then drop us a like, drop us a comment, share this video even, but of course, please drop me a subscribe. I'd massively appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.